And what about heart rate? If you're watching this video now, I'm going to talk about heart rate. This is a class on vital signs that you might not have seen in your regular training. If you did, thank God you really learned about vital signs. So, this is lesson 2. In the first lesson, I briefly discussed blood pressure and I'll continue to do so, but this lesson focuses solely on heart rate. So now we're going to talk about this in a bit more detail, and you'll be amazed by what you'll learn in this lesson. So, go ahead and leave your like, your comment, and share it in your college, in U-course or hospital group, because a good knowledge is a knowledge that's shared, and you can become a member here on the channel to support us and get exclusive content. Alright, shall we go? Here's the thing, heart rate. Heart rate is the number of times the heart beats in 1 minute. And when we take a look at the human physiology book, we see that our sinus node generates, it's a pacemaker, so it creates a rhythm, okay? So imagine what it means to generate rhythm. Look. So it's generating a rhythm. So what does that mean? It means that a pacemaker doesn't do this. Look. Or this. What does this mean? Arrhythmia. The conduction system doesn't cause arrhythmia. It acts like this, look. It keeps the pace, it doesn't speed up, it doesn't slow down. It sets the pace. So the heart rate, I'm going to erase this part here, okay? So, the heart rate, if we analyze it, originally, it's about 70 or 72 beats per minute. So the pacemaker beats about 70 times per minute. Period, it's settled here. There's nothing more, no more discussion. So what's the normal heart rate? 70. Now here's the thing. We have interference from the nervous system in the heart rate. And this interference causes the heartbeat to oscillate in a way that's induced by the autonomic nervous system, releasing neurotransmitters, either acetylcholine or epinephrine. So there's a variation downward. In other words, I can have as few as 60 beats per minute, and I can have up to 100, oops, it's 100, right? I can have up to 100 beats per minute as a normal condition for beats per minute. But normal condition means that the normal value is 70, but it can range from 60 to 100. And the blood pressure remains stable in this heart rate range window. There are no changes, there is no significant fluctuation. From the moment the heart rate drops well below 60, we can have hypotension. In the same way, when the heart rate is well above 100, we get an increase in blood pressure, obviously. So whether we like it or not, a heart rate from 60 to 100 is the normal parameter. But what is the normal value? The normal value is 70. Normal range is from 60 to 100. For adult patients, okay? Forget about pediatrics now. So we've got our heartbeats ranging from 60 to 100, right? So what do you need to understand? When we have a reduction in heart rate, we have it because the neurotransmitter travels via a parasympathetic cholinergic pathway, releasing acetylcholine and binding to M2 muscarinic receptors. And with that, my heart rate drops. Is that normal? Of course. In order to sleep and relax, you need to have a heart rate lower than the normal value. In other words, it keeps decreasing. That's why when you're sleeping, you can have a heart rate below 60 and that's normal because you're in complete rest, right? In the same way, when you go to CrossFit, to the gym, run, do a physical exercise or play a sport, your heart rate goes way above 100. But why did it go way above 100? Obviously because you're exercising and your body needs activity, fight or flight, fight or flight. So your system will release more epinephrine through an adrenergic pathway, releasing epinephrine to the beta-1 receptor. And what will this beta-1 do? It will stimulate an increase in heart rate. So, once you understand that our normal heart rate is 70, ranging from 60 to 100, and that it's influenced by the autonomic nervous system releasing neurotransmitters, you'll understand that a heart rate above 100, well above 100 or well below 60 can affect blood pressure. Ah, Eder, so does that mean that when I'm at my CrossFit, when I'm flipping tires or grabbing a rope or running, doing an activity, my blood pressure will go up? Do you have any doubt? No, you don't, right? Of course, it will go up. Because your heart rate rises in proportion to your exercise and effort. And blood pressure is directly related to that. So if your heart rate increases, we tend to see an increase in blood pressure as well. That's why some people die while exercising, because they decide to change their mindset overnight and start exercising all of a sudden. They don't go and see a cardiologist, they just get a fake medical note and just start going to the gym, right? Doing all sorts of really intense stuff without any preparation, like an idiot, without any preparation. Some places don't accept it, but some do. And then the person has a sudden illness. Why did they have a sudden illness? Because their heart rate reached extreme levels, 180, 200, man, their blood pressure spiked and they weren't ready for it. So if you're sedentary, you have to start slow. You don't have to follow the others that are doing hardcore stuff. You'll get there, man, but take it slow and let your body adjust so things progress naturally. That's why people say, see, that's why I don't exercise, because so-and-so exercised and they died. But maybe the way Tay started exercising triggered this cascade of problems. So for us to understand, if the heart rate increases, the blood pressure increases. Now, for someone who's sedentary, you don't have to start exercising intensely overnight, which could raise your blood pressure and put you at risk. So take it slow. If you're sedentary, this is actually something good. This way you don't scare yourself or end up feeling all sore. Start slowly and things will gradually improve without putting you at risk. Then, over time, after a week or two, of course, you have a personal trainer to help you, right? I'm saying these things here, but you need someone to guide you. You gradually increase the load, the intensity, the frequency, until you reach the point where you can exercise freely without putting yourself at risk. That's why I always say, guys, the tests required are for your own good. They're so you can actually exercise, but you need to be healthy for that, you know? But why are you hearing this from me right now? Because this here raises your blood pressure. And a person who's obese can't have their blood pressure rise abruptly because they might have an unpleasant surprise. That's why they need to have a checkup with a cardiologist first, do some tests in order to see what level of intensity they can handle, so this here doesn't happen. Because maybe the cardiologist will say, look, you can go up to this certain intensity. He prepares you a document, a report, you give it to your personal trainer, and he'll know how much he can push you. And over time, this load, intensity, and frequency will increase. Everything is set up so that you can really be healthy and not have a problem as a result of exercising. Exercise isn't supposed to cause you any kind of problem, but it has to be done in moderation with professionals and you need guidance. So anyway, guys, I'm not going to lay down rules here, right? But everyone knows what needs to be done, okay? So heart rate is like that. So a severe bradycardia means a problem, and a severe tachycardia also means a problem. So a severe bradycardia, I'm not discussing blocks, just sinus tachycardia. A severe bradycardia can lead to hypotension, and I can have a patient in a state of shock. And we can also have a tachycardia that might lead to a sudden illness. So balance is very important. So another very important piece of information we have about vital signs is the heart rate, because it's, let's say, a marker for blood pressure. When we have a bit of an idea what heart rate is, we already have an idea about blood pressure as well. All right, let's stop here for now and I'll be back. I'll be back with respiratory rate, our third lesson, all right?